fine for me as well. Okay, so what's going to happen today is I'm going to talk about how can you actually enhance your Excel skill with some hand-on session here today. And our topic is about VLOOKUP. Nothing more than that about VLOOKUP. So here I am talking about, okay, so what are we going to learn? Now, a bit about myself. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Kelvin. Just call me Kelvin. And in the chat or if you want to unmute yourself, just call me Kelvin. No teacher, no sir, no cikgu, no fei zai, nothing like that. Huh? Just Kelvin will do. Now, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and also a Microsoft Office specialist. Call it MOS in the expert level, where you complete all your Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and Access exam. So if you finish up all that realm of exam, you will be called the expert level. Okay, so what's going to happen in our session here is, so what are we going to learn? So what are we going to learn? Let's see. So a little bit of overview first. You are going to learn about the essential, and this course, the preview that I'm going to do today for these 3 hours is basically tailored for the beginners, tailored for the beginners to understand the fundamental of VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is one of the highly sought features or functions in Microsoft Excel. A lot of people are using it, but some of them are using it based on what their colleague, what their friend have taught them, or what YouTube have taught them. However, today I'm going to show you how you can actually experience it yourself and understand why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. All right, so we're going to talk about that. And of course, we're going to apply some of the advanced VLOOKUP techniques that I'll be showing towards the end. So please stay with me until about 12 or 12:15. We will, I will show you as much as I could for this one. All right, so let's do this. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Excel essential. Now, I always start my session with some essential information, which I feel that is very important for all Excel users to know. Okay, well, take a bit about 5 to 10 minutes to do this and to understand the references as well. So understand data. You want to know more about data, you should buy the book by Tai Chuta, right? Rock Your Data. Yeah, so you should you should buy the book and read it. So a lot of data information inside there. But here I'm going to just do a snippet of it. Now the second part of the session here, we got 5 altogether. And I'm going to do the introduction to VLOOKUP. Here we're going to talk about the syntax, what you should be watching out for, and what are you supposed to use. So we're going to do VLOOKUP without writing VLOOKUP. We'll talk about that soon. I need all of you to be participative. I need you to answer me whether you can unmute or you want to type in the chat. I leave it to you, but please be interactive with me. Okay, so then we'll move into some basic techniques. How are you going to understand when to use some of those information? How do you retrieve them? All right, so those are the things. Then we're going to break the rules. Now, VLOOKUP comes with many rules. We'll talk about that in the previous session, right? In the previous topic, but we're going to see how we can break it. How can we break this kind of rule? So when your data given to you are non-VLOOKUP standards, how can you still use it? Now, whether you are using VLOOKUP still or you are using other commonly used functions like index and match, or if you want to use something like XLOOKUP, I look at most of you are having at least 2019, 2021, or 365. So I think XLOOKUP will look at it. And if you cannot write it, that means the version that you have does not support. All right. Anyway, we'll still talk about that now. We're going to talk about some complex solutions for the source of data. Okay, so what's next? How do you trim and clean your data for VLOOKUP? Many of time, the trouble that we are facing is the data is not clean. So the first thing here is we break the rules. But once we break the rules, we still can't get it. That means we have some data issue. So how are we going to allow Microsoft Excel write the formula to clean up the data for you? Not without a soap. Don't use a soap. We not just a brush. You're just going to use a function to do that. All right. So this is basically everything that we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. Now, if I'm going a bit too fast, please I apologize for it because I only have 3 hours. I'm going to complete this as much as I can. I gave 5 topics altogether. Huh? So for those of you who already have the file you have downloaded, now if you have not, I'm going to put this into the chat. Please download it. Give me a second. I'll put it into the chat. Okay, so yeah, I sekaligus give you all the 5 lah. Huh? Since you are here, okay, I'll give you all the 5 files. Okay, so we're going to, I numbered the file 1 to 5. So we will start with number 1, no? Obviously, right? So we're going to do that. Okay. Now give me a okay if you are ready to start. Can I have a okay? Hmm. All right, that's yellow. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback. All right, now in Microsoft Excel, when you actually do a Google search, you actually type in ChatGPT or you do whatever that you doing your own research, you realize that when you ask Excel the chat, what are the data type available? Now, the ChatGPT will give you a lot, I think about 11 or 12. But here, I just want you to pay attention to 2 Excel data type. Okay, they are text, text and number. Text and number. I just want you to pay attention to these 2. Okay, so what is the difference between these 2? So if I go to this E2 and I type here 3000, when I press enter, the number will go to the right. So anything that is moved to the right, every time when you type on the keyboard, if it's just number, they go to the right. If I type in here, let's just say Kelvin, myself, my own name. When I press enter, you notice my name stays on the left. So again, this is a computer, is actually a program. They are not human. So what we understand about text and number, void. Here, we need to accustom ourselves to how Excel read our data. So here, if you see, when you type in numbers, they go to the right. When you type in any alphanumeric, it will go to the left. So if I type here Kelvin 3000, you notice alphanumeric or alpha will always stay on the left. Now, some people say, I want to type 00200. Okay, so when I press enter, the 00 in front go missing. So when I put apostrophe 002000, then they stay on the left. So what do you understand when this number 002000 stays on the left? Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look. Huh? It says here, number is now stored as a text. It's no longer a number. So if you were to perform any VLOOKUP or you write any function like sum functions and average function and so on, this will not be considered a number. All right. Now, how is this going to impact us? Now, let me just do a quick example of this. If I click down here and I put on auto sum, the next thing you know is when I press enter, they will not look at the text. They will only sum the number. So you need to know your data well. So sometimes your data that is given to you, they stay on the left, they stay on the right. You have to understand what are they. That's why I'm doing this session now. So if I do this, if I put here equals to 3000 plus Kelvin, the next thing you know is they are not able to compute. Excel doesn't know how to perform things like algebra. You take a text, you want to plus the number, they don't work. Okay. However, if I take this guy plus this 2000 here, it becomes 5000. Okay. So let's do some checking. If you want to know whether or not the information that you are having is a number or not, you just type is number, point to the cell, then they'll tell you true. If I point it down, it says there false. So for you to do and double check your information, sometimes by just look at it, you won't know because some of us will do things like this. We put it in the center. Okay, so we don't. Right? We can write a formula to find out whether the content that we are having is the number. Now, this is a very challenging information to do, to work on, especially when you are using VLOOKUP. You say, why the number are there? Why this they don't match? Why and how come they don't match? I'll give you some scenario in a while. Huh? So for this guy, I'm going to show you the formula. So I type formula text. I want to see what's the formula in E7. So they'll tell me this formula. Okay, they'll show me the formula. You notice that I am using, one is the function sum. Some are very particular. You must make sure you know your information is a text or number. When it comes to plus and minus, they have some restriction. They will not be able to ignore the text. Therefore, they give you error. Okay. Now, as long as the cell contains number, they will treat it like number. They don't leave it as text. So when you use plus, you see, even though here is on the left, but because it's only numeric value in the cell, then it will still be able to calculate. Okay, so if I put here A, you notice that it won't be able to do it. As long as it's only numeric value, they will be able to plus. Okay, so these are some of the things that I need you to do. I will be more elaborative if you come for the full class. But now I'm just run through with you because of time constraint. Just run through with you. Okay. So now, what about date? What about date? So if I want to check my computer, now date is another evil in Excel. But why do I say evil? Because a lot of people will have different versions of Microsoft Excel and different setup for their Windows or their Mac. So what I'm going to say is, if I want to know whether this computer that I'm showing you now, the one that I'm using now, are we reading the date as day, month, year, or are we reading the date as month, day, year? So you can use this keyboard shortcut, control with a semicolon. Control with a semicolon. So if you are having the file with you now, you can try that. You just go to any of this, what do you call this? Cell, empty cell. You just come down here, you just put control semicolon. You're going to get today's date. Today is the 3rd of May, 2025. So when I press enter, it goes to the right. So can you type in the chat? Let me know. Is date considered as text or date is considered as number? Can you type in the chat? Yes, it's number because it's on the right. It's on the right. So let's find out. Let's not just use our eyes to see it. We just write this equals to is number. And we point to this date. It says true. Yes, you are right. Everyone, very good. Well done. You have the date is a number. Now, so if you tell me date is a number, then what is the number? Okay, so let me just do this. Equals to this cell. So I have two columns here with the same date. If I go to this cell, the one that I wrote the formula, I just point it there and I say, let's go to this cell and change it to general. Today's number is 45780. That's today's number. 3rd of May, 2025, it has a serial number and the serial number is 45780. So when and how come they have 45780? Because this date, they start Excel, in Excel, they start counting from 1st of January, 1900, 1900. When I press enter, that's number 1. So if I put here 1900, that will be number 2. Okay, so today, 3rd of May, 2025 is 45780 since 1st of January, 1900. Okay, so because date is a number, then we can perform an equation. For example, I want to know 1000 days from today. What will that be? So I just put equals to this cell plus with this. So 1000 days from 3rd of May is 28th of January, 2028. So if you have a plan to do something like you want to climb the Mount Kinabalu in you want to do your training in 1,000 day, then you want to go and climb the Mount Everest or Kota Kinabalu, Mount Kota Kinabalu, yeah, you can do that. So let's just say you don't take so long, you want to take 100 days from today. So it's 11th of August 2025, right? Now, how do we get the serial number? The serial number is by just changing it to the formatting called general. If you go to any of your date, you just change the formatting to general, you will get the serial number. And the serial number start counting from 1st of January 1900. Okay. So these are very basic, essential information. I would love to go in detail. However, because of time constraint, I will not be able to go in detail on this one. There are a lot of information that I want to share with you, but this is not related to VLOOKUP. However, they are slightly related because if your information and the table that you have, you want to do a VLOOKUP, they are not the same kind of data type, they won't be able to match. So one of them is a number, one of them is a text, they don't talk. So you need to know your data before you can even write your VLOOKUP. Okay, so let's talk about that when we move into VLOOKUP. So the second thing that I want to talk about here is references. Okay, give me a okay for me to continue. All right, good. Thank you. Now, if you have any question along the way, you can always type in the chat. Mr. Tai will be there to help. And if not, you can unmute and ask. You can stop me anytime. You can unmute and ask so that we can have some interaction. Otherwise, I will just keep on going like a speed bullet train like that. So you let me know how I can help you on that. Now, there are three different type of references in Excel. They are namely relative, absolute, and mixed references. I will be using them later in our session, right? So that's why I need you to understand what are they first. So I'm building up some base for all of you. So usually, if I want to know the total for this product DSR 100 ml, I will just click the auto sum. So this time, I'm not actually focusing on the sum function, but I'm focusing on the reference. So let me just put a formula text of this cell. So let me just go closer. Okay, let me just go closer. This is the formula. So if I were to copy this down, oops, what happened? Give me a second. Okay, if I copy this down, I get all the rest of the answer. Now let's take a look at the reference. The reference changed from D3 all the way to D4, D5, D6 to D13. Do you notice that this reference changes from 3 to 4 to 5? Now that is because when I copy this down earlier, okay, when I copy this formula downwards like this, I am actually changing the row numbering. From 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, you see, they are changing. Okay, this kind of reference are called relative reference because they change when you move the cell to whether it's downwards or to the right. Okay, so if I do the same to this one over here, this cell D15, if I do the same, press enter, and now I just pull it to the right, you notice they are the same, they will get the answer as well. So if I write my formula text down there, the changes are made to the column alphabet. So from D to E to F, then to G. So what happened just now was we drag to the right. So they change from D to E to F and G. So if you look at it up here, D, E, F, G. That's what happened. Okay, they are moving from left to right. So this is also called the relative reference. Okay, now I'm going to remove my answers. Now, in future, you don't do this way. You don't do it one by one like this. If you want to do it quick, you can highlight all the number together with one empty column on the right and any number of rows on the bottom. Because this technique that I'm going to show you, they only give you the answer at the end where there's an empty column or empty row. So I'm just going to highlight this way and click auto sum. See, the answer is there. I don't have to do it one by one like what I did just now. Click the first one, drag it down, click the first one, drag it to the right. I can do it together, which is a lot more faster. Okay. Now, you need to get the first answer correct before you can move on to the percentage. Now, I want to know DSR 100 ml, which is 25,938, takes up how many percent of the grand total here? So the formula is going to be equals to these two. You notice how I do it? I put equal. I use my mouse to click on the cell. I didn't type. Then I divide it by this grand total at the bottom. So when I press enter, I get 10.71%. Now that's because I formatted it to percentage earlier. So if I leave it as general, it will look like this. But I need it to be in percentage. So I just click this with 2 decimal place. Then I drag it down. But the problem now is I'm going to get lots of error. The error is telling us something. Let's find out. If I were to click on this cell, it says there G3 over G15. Then if I come down here, it says G4, which is good, but they go to G16. They go further down as I drag. You see, when I call all the way down here, it actually went to G25. This is G24, right? It's actually 23. Then, yeah, it's getting further away. It's getting further away. And you see, now they show again. It's going further away. Now I need to make sure that this G15 don't move. So what I need to do is I just go back to my formula, double click it. Then I just press the function key on my keyboard, F4. F4. Okay, now for those of you who are using Ubuntu or even Mac, I'm not sure whether the F4 will work or not. I believe it will. If it doesn't, don't bother. Just type the dollar symbol. As long as the symbol dollar is in the reference, you're fine. So it doesn't matter how you do it. The matter is the end result, there is a dollar symbol. So let me just put here equal to formula text of this cell. So you see $G, $15. The G15 doesn't move. Yes, you lock the column. You lock the column first. We lock, in this case, we lock one cell, which is the G15. G15. So once you put the dollar symbol in, that is what we call the absolute reference. The one with the dollar is called the absolute reference. Now, you don't have to memorize all these names unless you are saying that you're going for the exam after this to become a Microsoft Office specialist. So otherwise, you can just forget about it. What is more important for us is we remember the dollar symbol. I'm sure all of you love the dollar symbol, right? So it's all up to you. Now, no matter what, if your computer, the F4 doesn't work, don't worry about it. Don't be so analytic about it. So just type the dollar symbol in manually. That's fine. That's the end result we want. Okay, if you are able to press the the F4, then okay. If not, try Fn F4. You have to press the Fn function to press the F4. Yeah, whichever way. But the simplest way is just type the dollar symbol. Okay, so that is what we call the absolute reference. A reference that is not moving. The one that relative reference is a moving reference. The other one is a fixed reference. Okay. Now I'm going to go into this and let's talk about this a little bit more. Okay. Let me just push this to the side. Okay. So when I double click this, you notice that it's a $G, $15. Now, always remember this term, money comes first. If you want anything in this world, usually not free except for NTW class like now. Most of the things that you go for, you have to pay. Right now, you are paying using your time to be here. Paying doesn't mean money, but of course, we all love money. So if you see $G, that means you are going to fix the G. Then if you put the $15, that means you fix the 15. Right? Okay, so dollar. Whenever you see the dollar, that means you are fixing something. So if I put my mouse over here and I press F4 again, this time the reference has made a shift. You notice that the dollar for G is missing. So now we only have $15. So the $15 means we fix the row 15, but the column G is not locked. It's not fixed. So that means if I were to copy this formula to the right, if I pull this to the right, the G will turn to H, then I, then J, then K. However, when I move it down, the 15 will stay. It will not go anywhere. Got it? Now, if I press my F4 again, this time, only the G is moving. Okay? Only the G is moving, but the 15 is not moving. Sorry, the other way around. The G is not moving. The 15 is moving. So if I were to copy this down, the 15 will become 16, 17, 18, 19, but the G will stay in G if I copy to the right. This type of reference that you just saw, you just seen it just now, it's called mixed reference. The one I just explained, the one with only a single dollar sign in their reference, those are called the mixed reference. We'll be using this shortly when I show you some of the technique. So that's why I'm doing this with you now, so that you know what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to escape. I'm just going to use $G, $15 for this example. Okay, so let me just give you a quick note here. So I give you an example. So this one is A1. This is $A, $1. And this one is A, $1, or it can be $A1. It can be in different ways. So we use the function key F4 to put it in, right? So you toggle the F4, or you can just type the dollar manually, right? Don't be a bit fear of missing out, huh? Don't fear of missing out. As long as you type the dollar, they will know what to do, lah. Okay, so this is a little bit about the references. Now, for this reference, absolute reference, I would like to stress this a little bit further because it will help us in our work in a while. So for absolute referencing, there's another way you can do this. Now, for this, I need to go to the next worksheet. Right? I'm going to write the percentage one more time here. One more time. So let's do a revision. If I want to calculate the percentage, I need to take the G3, which is the 25,000, divided by the 242,000, isn't it? So this particular G15, we must make sure stay, don't move, so that we can copy the formula down. Now, instead of giving them the dollar symbol, now I'm going to use a different method. I'm going to click in this cell G15. Now, this area that I'm going to show you now, this is what we call, okay, let me just put it here. This is what we call the name box. This area is called name box. This name box tells you where your active cell is. Remember, I clicked on G15 just now, so it is actually showing me G15. See that? It's showing me G15. Now, I do not want to call this cell G15. I would like to give this G15 a name. So I click inside this particular name box and I give it a name. So I call it total. I gave it total. So when I press enter, this cell now, G15, is not only called G15. G15 is permanent, it will not be erased. But G15 has another name, and the name is called total. So if I write this formula equals to this cell divided by this, you notice the G15 didn't appear, but the word total appear instead. So I press enter. There you go. All I need to do is just copy it out. So if I put a formula text next to it, you will see that the word total will stay. It will not move a bit. The total that I'm using is referring to G15. So another way to make the cell stay is to give them a name. This is particularly very useful when you are working with VLOOKUP and the data that you have is not side by side. The data is in another worksheet. So from your worksheet that you want to perform the VLOOKUP, you want to go to that particular table that you have. and it's in a different worksheet. So you can just name it first so that you can just use it immediately. Right? Either you are going to name the whole table or by column. We will look at the technique that I'm going to show you later. But for now, I just need you to know that if you want to name any of the references, you can do this. Let me give you another example. This is one cell, one name, right? I can actually give one column like this, one name, right? One column like this. So I can call this one as direct. So I highlight this. I call it online because I can highlight this. Then I can call this retail. Okay, so what's the purpose of naming so many, right? So if I were to actually start a brand new worksheet, maybe I go to the data type. Okay, over here, we come down here, I say, okay, equals to sum, then I type online. See, I type the word online. It will tell me it's 123,658.64. Let's check it out. Yeah, online. It's 123,658.64. So basically, if I write the formula here, equal to sum, then I type online. They highlight the area for me, the online. So when I press enter, you give me the same answer. Understand? But if you are in the different worksheet, you don't have to go back to that worksheet anymore. You don't have to type equals to sum, then you have to go to this worksheet, then you have to highlight. Isn't it? That's what we always do. We don't have to do that anymore. We can just use the name immediately. Right? So if I want to know what is the direct total, so I put there sum direct. Enter. So it's 20,646. Let's see whether this is correct. Direct, 20,646. Okay. Now, can I know in the chat, have you all learned anything so far for this half an hour that I'm with you here? Yes, so I have a question just now saying, where is it? If I want to rename, right? Where is it? Okay, the information went too fast. Okay, if I want to rename, do I need to do one by one? Rename. Now, if you want to rename, you cannot do it from the name box. No, Afina. Listen, this name box only got one job only. Actually, two lah. One is to tell you the name. Number two is to let you insert the name. That's all. But it does not allow you to edit the name. Right? Just like you check into the hotel, you are at the front office. You cannot tell the lady in the front office to clean up your bathroom. You cannot. They would escalate it to uh, the cleaner to do it. They will not go there themselves. They will escalate. So this particular name box will ask you to escalate it to, you go to your formula, you go to the name manager, all the names are here. If you realize that you made a mistake, spelling or wrong cell or whatever, you just go to that particular name, let's say online, you can click the edit, you change the name here. So I hope I answer your question, Navina. If you need to change the name, yeah, you have to do it from here. Now, besides changing the name, you can also click the name and delete the name if the name is no longer in use. Don't keep too many, don't keep too many. Right? Only keep the names that you will use for your formula. Right? Now, in this name box, at the end of this name box, they have this drop-down arrow. They also have the list here, but you can't change it. But when you click online, they will highlight online for you. So if you want to know where is all these places, you can just click on it. Okay? But if you want to manage the name, you have to go to the name manager and get it from there. Okay, it's either you edit the name or you change the reference. Let's just say this particular direct, the name is correct, but you refer to the wrong cell. You might want to modify it a little bit. That's it. Okay, if I want to name it, is that your question? Is that? I highlight like this, I give it a name. Now, let me just do another one for everybody to see. If I want to name this three cell as DSR 100 ml, this three cell as DSR 200 ml. Now, I can't be doing it one by one. There's 11 of this, So I should just highlight them. The code with all the three columns that you have your value. Now, next to the name manager, there is something here called create from selection. So you can click the create from selection. You tell them, I'm going to use the left column of my selection, left column, as the label for it. So when I click OK, if you click on this drop down here, you'll see all the names are there. So if I click PSD 200 ml, it will highlight this for me. So is that? Thanks for the question. Yeah. So Miss Yap, I hope it's Miss Yap. Yap Chui Hua, your question. What happens if I have a lot of total? So you don't use generic name. Very good question there. You also realize I got many worksheet and I have many total. So if I use the total now, if I use the word total now, what happens if I have another worksheet? So I cannot use back the same name. So what I suggest to all of you is do not use a generic name like total. But you look at this, this is actually three different channels, like sales channel. I can call this one channel total. Okay, so I will rename. So I go to this guy. I go to that total. Where's my total? Come up here. I edit. So I call this one as channel total. CHANNEL. Now they will not allow you to have space for their name. So you have to stick it together or you use underscore. But for me, I want to stick it together. Total. Then 2017. Okay. So the names has their own rules. You cannot have spaces between the wording. So I stick them together. The only symbol allowed is underscore. You cannot use hashtag, @ symbol, no, nothing like that. They are only alphanumeric. Alphanumeric, no symbols, no spaces. Only symbol allowed is underscore. And you cannot start the name with number. Therefore, I put my 207, 2017 at the back instead of at the front. So when I click OK, you tell me no problem, right? So now it's right at the top now. So I click close. If you look at my formula text, it has changed. You won't find the word total anymore in here. There's no name called total, but it has already changed to channel total 2017. So give a more descriptive name lah. Yeah, I hope I answer your question also. All right, good. Let's move on. So I'm just preparing you for the VLOOKUP. So let's go into VLOOKUP now. I'm going to close this one. Let me save this and I'll pass it to you guys. File, save as. And put it back to that folder. I call this one as done. Okay. So if I go to the folder, I have one called done, right? So I just drop it in. So if you want my file, okay, it's still open. And you have to close this one first. Okay, so the file that I just demonstrated just now is in the chat, Zoom chat. You can download it for your own references. So let me go to this number 2 now. Introduction to VLOOKUP. Right? Yeah. So in this particular file, I'm going to explain to you the VLOOKUP syntax. So the topic of this session is about VLOOKUP. Of course, we will talk about other lookup as well, but it essentially is about VLOOKUP lah. Now, before I go there, before I ask and explain to you about this, now I need everyone here to play a role. Type in the chat or unmute yourself and let me know. If this particular customer has bought a total of 133,000 from us, and we are supposed to propose a discount. So in our business, we have different tier of discount. So can everyone tell me What is the percent of discount we should offer to Amila Carpenter? Can I see in the chat? Oh,
8%.
sorry, is that
8%.
8%? Okay, good. Thank you. Anyone else have different one? Anyone more generous? See, we have Muhammad Adam, 10%. Jenny lagi tebat. So everybody buy from Jenny. Don't buy from Visa. Definitely don't buy from Kalai Mala. 5% only. Okay. Now, if you are freely giving your discount, yeah, you guys are correct. You guys are correct. However, if you have a business and your business have this particular range, which means for those of you who answer 8%, very good. You got it right. Now, what happened here is we have 133,000. Then we need to find out 133,000, is it inside here? So answer me yes or no. Did you take the 133,000 and look inside this table? Or you look inside this table? Did you look inside this table or you look inside the one on top? The one on top, right? Very good. Now, because you are using this at the top, you are taking this 133,000, okay? 133,000. You look inside this table and you are searching for the 133,000 this direction. That means, where is 133,000? That means you look from top to bottom. And this particular direction is called vertical. It's called vertical. Hence, you are using V. Sorry, my typo. Okay, hence you are using VLOOKUP. You are looking vertically in the table. Vertical lookup. VLOOKUP. Okay, so in this particular 133,000, you look inside this table. So what happened in the syntax is, it says VLOOKUP. What is the value that you are using to do the lookup? So this particular cell, this one. So you are actually using the 133,000 as your lookup value, and then you look inside the table. So where's the table? The table is here. Understand? You notice the VLOOKUP, the syntax is very close to what we human actually do. We tell them, we take this 133,000, we look inside here, and we use a vertical, so we use VLOOKUP. So when we look inside this table, we know we must use VLOOKUP. And in this table, it comes with 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 columns altogether. Now they're asking you, all right? They're asking you this question. Which column, right, has the information that you're looking for? We are looking for, wait, let me just put a green. We are looking for the discount. Remember, we are looking for this discount. So that is actually column number 2. So here we have to tell them, oh, it's 2. We are looking for column number 2. So far, you guys can catch up with me. The lookup value is the value you use to do the match. Match in where? The table. So this is the table, the blue color one. And the column index number means from the table that you highlight, okay, which column contains the information that you're looking for. So in this case, it's column number 2. Are we all good? Right. Now, again, I repeat, we use 133,000 and we look inside here. Now, can you tell me, do we have 133,000 in this list or not? Do we have 100? No, we don't have. Then how did you tell me it's 8%? Okay, how did you tell me it's 8%? Now, it's like this. The last parameter here, if you look at it, it says range lookup. It's asking you a question. Are you looking inside the range? So 133 is between 100 to 150,000. So is it a yes or is it a no? Oh, sorry. Is it a yes or is it a no? So this is asking you, right, whether are you looking inside the, what do you call it? Wait, let me just, I got this wrong. Okay, let me do that again. They're asking you whether it's a yes or no. So tell me, are you looking inside the range? If you say yes, if you say yes, you cannot type yes, but you must put here true. You cannot put yes. If you say no, then you have to say this is false. So Excel don't understand yes or no, but they will understand true or false. They will understand true or false. So then if you tell them it's true, yes, yeah. So many of you say yes, very good. So what happened now is you are actually telling them, oh, I need the value I'm looking for, 133 is in between 100 to 100. So by looking at this, you cannot give 10%. No. So that's why you only give 8% because 133,000 is not 150,000. So you have to fall back to the previous level. You have to fall back to the previous level, so you give 8%. Now, ideally, I think that's how we human think. So VLOOKUP is written by a programmer, and the programmer is also a human. Therefore, it's using his own logic to write this function to let you use it. Okay. So I made a little bit of explanation here. We'll put a little bit of explanation. So there is a question on when do we use VLOOKUP? There's a question there, right? Yeah, I can't find it anymore. It went too far down already, too far up already. So when do we use VLOOKUP? Now, when the word lookup means we are looking for something and we do not want to do it ourselves manually. Most of the time, if we do not write a VLOOKUP, we have to perform manual checkup. We need to say, oh, 8,000. Okay, then I need to see where is it. Or 240,000. Oh, then I need to know where is it. So I don't have to do it myself anymore. I let VLOOKUP do the lookup for me. There's a function called lookup, right? It's actually searching for the data based on something, based on your value. Go to the value you have in the cell, then you go to the table, see where they stand, and then pick up the information along the way. That's how it looks, the true or false. Okay, so I'm going to name my table. I'm going to highlight this. So I don't have a name for it. So I'm going to call this one as V table. I can call it discount table, but I just call it V table. Right? So now when I write my function, okay, where am I? I see a lot of message on there. Okay, so I have a question. Okay, no. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to write this formula. I already named this area here as V table. So we know that we are taking this 133 and look inside the V table. We need to pull out column number 2, which is the discount. And you agree with me just now, you say yes. Yes means you need to use true. Okay, so I'm going to write the formula in here. Let me just zoom in closer. So equals to VLOOKUP. Now, when I type VL, you notice that the function appear down here. Yeah, you don't have to type the whole name. It may be too long for you. You can use your mouse to double click it, or you can press the tab on your keyboard. So when you press the tab on the keyboard, it actually complete the formula and open a bracket for you. Right? So that's how. So the first thing is your lookup value. So the lookup value is 133,000. Okay, comma, and then you know the table is actually called V table. Now, we learned how to give name a couple of minutes ago, so you are applying it directly now to the VLOOKUP rate. You don't have to remember where is it and highlight. You don't have to. Okay, imagine when you're doing your real work, the table is not next to your calculation. The table is somewhere else in another worksheet. Right? Another worksheet, maybe in worksheet 2 or worksheet 3. So you have to go to the worksheet and highlight. But now, if you already give them a name, you can just type the name. So in this particular table, we need to pull out the second column. So I'm going to put 2, which is the discount. Discount, comma. So now they are asking, is it true or is it false? If you still remember what is the meaning of true and false, true means yes, false means no, right? No and yes of what? Are you looking inside the range? If you say yes, I'm looking inside the range, then you put true. So you can type true. So you can double click the true or you press tab. Okay, let me just enter this one first. Now, Joyce, you highlight the table, go to the name box, V table. If you accidentally gave them a wrong name, you want to rename it, you go to formula, name manager, look for the V table, edit. If you accidentally give a wrong name, it doesn't matter. This is just for practice. If for your real work, you have to be very, very detailed about the name. Right? So once I've done that, I just copy down. So now I will have the discount. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds, get me the discount level. So the discount level is basically column number 3. The formula is exactly the same. So let me just put the formula text up here first. There you go. No, it's not compulsory to name the table. If you like the way you do your work last time without naming it, then you can go and tell them it's G16 to I23. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, let me write the formula here. Equals to VLOOKUP based on this 30,000, 133,000. So the table, I put there G16 to I23. Okay. Now, because I type this manually myself, I must make sure that I have to lock it, put it the dollar symbol, because later if I were to copy the formula down, the G16 will become G17. No? So I make sure I lock it. Still number 2, still true. See, I can still get the answer. So the formula is slightly different. This one is using the reference. Now, this will be very complicated for those people who read the formula, but this will be very clean. V table. So if they are not sure where is V table, just go to this and tell them, click on the name box, V table. It will tell them where is it. Yeah, you can do that. Just go to another file. You can't use the name anymore, but you have to have the name can still be used, of course. But in front of the name, right? In front of the name, you need to have your file name. You need to have the file name followed by the table name. No Haniza, right? No Haniza. Yes, you can still write the VLOOKUP. So your table does not have to be in the same workbook. It can be in a different file. You just make sure both files are open. You go to that file, you highlight them. You will notice that the file name and the worksheet name and the cell range will be there. So if you have already named it, the cell range will be converted to the name. You don't have to copy it over. Okay. Anisa, no, don't do that. That defeat the purpose already. Okay. You don't do that. The reason I'm not doing it that way now because we are catering for the basics lah. So I even put a table next to it. Right. So what normally in the real world is this table is in a different worksheet. In the real world, we have another worksheet where we have that data. In my case, my data is small. Maybe in your case, you are talking about thousands of row, right? So yeah. No, in that case, yeah, no, that won't work. That won't work. You have to make sure that everything is within you. Maybe what you can do is you can copy and paste value before you send it to your boss. No, because this is hard link, hard link. If it's a hard link like this, I mean they must be there. As long as they are not there, then you get REF, reference. They will not show you the answer, but they will be REF because they can't find the table. Okay. So you're asking me if this is false, FALSE, false. Then you'll get nothing, NA. Because there's no 133,000 in here. Raven, I hope you understand. False means exact match. There's no 133,000 in here. Therefore, they say no, they're not available. Raven, understand? So cannot use false. You have to use true. Now, in most of our VLOOKUP attempt in our work, we don't use true a lot. That's why I start with true. Very seldom we have a work that we need to use true. Okay? Most of you, if you learn it from your colleagues or your whatever sources that you learn from, they always tell you to use false, false or zero. Okay? And you just follow. You don't even know why you want to use false. Okay, so don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so in this case, this is not 2 anymore. We want to know the discount level, we must use 3. So very good. False means exact match. If you look into this, okay, false means exact match. If you look for 133, that means exactly 133. No more, no less. Exactly. But approximate is in between the value. So in this case, we cannot use false. We have to use true. Okay. So another way to define the true, another way to define the true is 1. Another way to define the false is use 0. If I do not want to use the TRUE, I can use 1. And I will still get the answer. So if you find some expert in your company are using 1, that means, yeah, they know VLOOKUP, can use 1. Some of us always use 0 because our senior or our colleague, our friend taught us must use 0 at the back. Yeah, so now I hope you understand why you want to use a 0, why you want to use the false. All right, so now let's look at the second exercise here. I want you to highlight this table, and give it a name. Let's call it H table. H table, H table. So right now, if you were to look for the 133,000, you no longer look downwards, but you look to the what? To the right. Okay, and this direction is called horizontal. Therefore, you're going to use something called HLOOKUP. Okay, this is what you're going to use, HLOOKUP. So whether or not we use HLOOKUP or VLOOKUP is never your choice one. It's how did people give you the table. If they give you the table this direction, your choice is VLOOKUP, no other choices. If the table given to you is in this format, you have no other choices, but you have to use HLOOKUP, unless you redo the table. So we're going to write this formula again, equals to, in this case, is HLOOKUP. Based on the 133,000, we go to the H table and we tell them this is row index number, row 1, row 2, row 3. We are looking for the discount, so it's row number 2. And we are still looking for in between, therefore we use 1. 1 or true. There you go. So as far as this one is concerned, we're going to write the same formula equals to HLOOKUP, 133,000. We go to the H table. So this time we are looking for the discount level. The discount level is number 3, then 1 again. 1 means true, in between. All right, so we highlight this, we pull it down. Just highlight the table. Just highlight the table, then give it a name. Go to the name box and give it a name. That's all. Just type in the name, H table, enter. Remember to press enter. Why can't I use the discount as a reference? Discount as a reference. You mean you use this one to find the level? Can, but the table first row start with sales range. So I'm coming to that lah. Every time when you write a formula, right? Okay, you write a formula, the lookup value have to match your table, and they only match the first column. I repeat, this lookup value, table array. So this is your lookup value. This is your table array. What happened is this match, this particular restriction here is they only match the first column. If you use this as V table just now, okay. If you use this as V table earlier, I mean, this whole thing is V table. The first column is sales range. You cannot tell them to find using the discount level. Okay, so VLOOKUP only match the first column of your table, and they look to the right. This is one of the rules that all of you should know. They look on the first column, then they only look to the right. They cannot look to backward. They don't look backward. Okay. So if my table, if this table, this sales range is not the first column, but is actually the last column, you notice everything goes wrong. Right? It will not be able to do that. So because I'm using my lookup value is my sales figure, then my sales range has to be the first column. Okay? I hope you understand the logic. In this one, since I'm still using the total sales, then I'm using the first row. They only match the first row. Then they look downwards. They cannot look upwards. Okay, I'm going to save this file. We're going to go a bit more detail shortly. Don't worry. You guys are good. You ask question that I'm going to talk about in the very close future. Okay, let me just done. Let me close this guy. I'm going to give you this file as well. For those of you who want my file, you missed it. All right. Now, I'm going to file number 3 now. All right, go file number 3. So still VLOOKUP, the basic of VLOOKUP. Okay, so this time, this is how it looks like. Okay, I need you to find the product description. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit closer. Okay, I want you to find the product description based on the product ID. So the product ID is SUPA101, and I need you to tell me what is the description. So we're going to do the same exercise. Here, I'm going to call this as my P table. I'm going to call this as my P table. P stands for product. That's why I put P table. Now, equals to VLOOKUP. Now, can you tell me? Or you don't have the number 3. I think Tai Chutak just gave. Mr. Tai just gave it. So, Lam, you just download it. Okay, now VLOOKUP. Now, can you guys help me? What am I supposed to use for my lookup value now? Can you type in the chat? What should I put in my lookup value? C9. Very good. C9. C9, comma. Then the table array. Help me out, please. What is the table name? P table. Very good. P table. Then there will be column number 4. I think who is this? Yeah. No Hidayah already think of so far already. He said number 4. Right, comma. Then am I supposed to use approximate match or exact match? Yeah, we're going to use false. False. And there you go. Now, if I use true, what happens if I don't use false? Still use true. When I press true, do you notice that I still get answer? But please be very mindful. You cannot use true in this case, although you still get an answer, but the answer is wrong. If you look at SUPA 101, it's actually the first one. So the first one, soft product sample. But what am I getting? Pure soft detergent 500 ml is actually down here. So that is PURA 500. No, it's not. So be careful. VLOOKUP put you into a trap. And you think that, hey, I got the answer, I'm happy. No, that's not right. This is not right at all. You have to use false. So because what you are using to do the match is actually an alphanumeric, you don't have a choice. Okay. Now, let me just copy this down. Okay, can I ask you guys some question, some geography question? Some geography. Just put in the chat or you can unmute and tell me. If my first name here, okay, let me say I type down here. If the first information I have here is Penang, and the second one here is called Johor. Now, can you tell me what is between Penang and Johor? You got Perak. Yeah, very good. Got Line, you got Selangor, yeah, KL. Yeah, we all know because we are from Malaysia. We're from Malaysia. Do you think Excel know? Do you think Excel knows that between Penang and Johor got KL, Selangor, and things like that? No, they don't. So Excel actually doesn't read ABC. They don't read ABC. They know between 1 and 5, there's 2, 3, 4. But they do not know between Penang and Johor there is such thing called Kuala Lumpur lah, Selangor lah, Melaka lah. No, they don't know. So Excel doesn't read text. I repeat. So if I put in here, Cecilia, then I have here Joyce. So who can tell me what is the name between Cecilia and Joyce? I don't think you can answer me, right? So it makes no sense for you to put in between. There's no such thing called in between text. For example, these two, SUPA 101 and PURA 100. What is in between these two? I don't think you can make sense out of this. So whenever you are using something called alphanumeric or alpha, you actually don't have choice. You have to use false. False or zero. False or zero. You guys understand? So if I want to find the unit price over here, then what do? Equals to VLOOKUP. Still use the SUPA 101. Why? Because my P table is starting with product ID, right? So I still have to use the product ID, comma, P table, comma. Then this time, unit price is column number 3. So I put 3. Then I have to use 0. 0 for false. There you go. I get the answer. And I put it up. Okay. So I'm using the product ID to look for the unit price. So unit price is 1, 2, 3. So I use 3, the formula. So let me just put the formula up here. I use blue color for this. I use red color for this, right? So it's very much similar. Okay. In all my examples so far, I actually use the formula here and my table is just next door. The table that I use is just next door. But for the next exercise down here, with the customer ID, I want to know what is the customer name, what is the gender, and what is their origin. So where's my data? My data is no longer here. See, there's no data here. My data is in a different worksheet. Okay, so I have my customer ID, origin is number 2, customer name is number 3, contact number is number 4, then email and gender, number 5. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for customer, gender, and origin. So which means I'm looking for 3, 5. Is it 5 or 6? 6, right? 6 and 2. Okay, so remember, I just put it down here. So it's like 3, 6, and 2. So I put the number up here so that I can remember that they are from that column. So what I do is I just go to this table here. Okay, I name it. I give it a name called C table. Now C table because this is the customer data, customer. I put C table. Now when I go to this formula, I don't have to refer back to the table anymore. I just put there VLOOKUP. Okay, based on this customer ID B31. Okay, let me zoom in. I think it's a bit too small. So equals to VLOOKUP based on this B31, comma, then C table, comma. The first one is number 3, comma 0. There you go. So the name is Adina Gates. Okay, so the formula, is this one. Okay, these two cell, the blue one. Okay, C, B31. So if I were to write for this guy, I say equals to VLOOKUP, still based on this customer ID, C table. This time, gender is column number 6, then comma 0. I can get that. Adina Gates is actually a female. Now, I feel very lazy to write all over again. So assuming I didn't write this, I will go to this formula. I go to my formula bar. I highlight whatever that's inside my formula bar. Control C to make a copy. Get out. Come here. I paste it. So I press Control V. Then I change this one to 6. I do the same to this one. I paste it. I change this one to 2. So highlight these two and just bring it down. So if I feel lazy to type, this is what I can do. Okay, so what do I do just now? I go in here, highlight in my formula bar, highlight whatever the formula is, Control C to make a copy. Then I can go to any of the cell, let's just say up here, and I paste it. All I need to do is just change the number. So gender is column number 6, so I put 6. There you go. So copy the first formula, put in the first one. You guys okay with this? Now, do you notice that I don't have to move from my worksheet, current worksheet, to another worksheet to highlight? Because I already know the name is C table. So I just use C table, customer table. So I just want you to have a little bit of convenience when you write your formula. I give you some time to look into this, then you come back to me. Another file. So I need to copy this. Oh, sorry. Right click this one, move or copy to a new file, new workbook. I just create a copy. So my data is here. Okay. So this data, when they move into a new file, this one is a new file, right? It's called C table, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to save this file. Okay, I put it inside the file there. Give me a second. Yep, I put your name here. Yep. So this file name is called Yup. This file name is called Yup. So I need to go back. So let me just arrange this two side by side. Okay, so this one is my file. This one is the one that Ms. Yap, you asked me to put on different file. So let me just take away this two. Wait, let me take away this guy. So equals to VLOOKUP based on this comma. So the table is actually here, right? So I go to this file and I highlight. Okay, you see that? You have the file name, the data name, and this your whatever criteria here. So comma. We know that we need to look for gender, and gender is number 6. Comma 0. So when I press enter, oops, what happened? Data B2 to B6. Oh, maybe it's not F. Yeah, it's supposed to be G. I missed out the yeah, you see, it's until G. So let me write the formula here. Just now when I highlight, I miss out gender. So happen. The alignment, I put it in the, got it? So Miss Yap, you understand the formula? So you have to go to the worksheet, you make sure both files are open and go and highlight. Now, if I made some changes here, I say, okay, I don't want this GB whatever here. I just put here C table. I will still get the answer. But I need to give them the file name. I need to give them the file name, then followed by the table name. Is that did you get what I showed you just now? It's two different file, right? This one is yup.xlsx. This one is my tree basic. Yeah, I can get it as well. Okay. So you must have both lah. Now, once you highlight using your mouse, you will notice that it says there B3 to G don't know what, right? So if you remember that you already gave a name, so you can still use the name. My one is called C table. So you must have the file name followed by the name of the table. The C table is actually the name in here as well. You see, C table. I highlighted this. This is the name I gave to this range. Yeah. Maheswaran, we didn't talk about table. I just highlight this guy because I copy the worksheet over, so they remember there is a C table. Yes. If I give you this file later, you notice when they come out, here will be error because they cannot find yup.xlsx. So my advice to you is don't do this kind of work lah. If possible, don't use lah. If for your own viewing one okay lah. But if you plan to send it to other people, no. It will not be so. It will not be so dynamic lah. They will not know, and the moment you send it out, the link is broken. The formula is a static link, it will not be so clever one. So the moment this file is not there, then you'll get REF. Just like what I showed you just now, right? You got the REF because I missed out the G. So whenever they cannot find, they'll REF it. Okay, so if I go to this formula, copy, and I come here, paste. I use back my own formula. So this guy, I bring it down, without formatting. So later, if I save this and give it to you, maybe in the WhatsApp group, you can tell me when you open up, you got this problem, whether you get REF or not. Right now, you can see everything because I have the yup.xlsx with me. But what happens if I don't? Then you won't be able to get the item. Maybe you will get a message that say, do you want to update? Then you click don't update and see what happens. Okay, good question, everyone. Right. Yeah. Yes, Sasa. Sasa, you got a question? Different color, just color only. Click this one. This one, I just go and color it only. I color manually one. This one no. This one I color manually one. This one should be green huh? Any other question?
Hi, can we just how do you copy the formula from customer to gender and origin?
How do I copy? So I select this formula correct already, correct? Okay. That means this formula already correct, So you just go to your formula bar, highlight them, Control C. Control C, You know what's Control C, right? It's just copy, right? Then you press enter to get out. You can go to any cell, just double click it and paste. Control V to paste.
All right.
And then, you will get exactly the same like what you see, you see? After that,
correct.
we only change this, the column index. No problem. As long as you ask, You can share it to OneDrive, but you must give the link to the person to open it from there. Yeah. So time, just checking with you. So if the files are linked in the OneDrive, will there be any problem later?
Okay. Good question. Let's see. Is Lim Siu Ong. Hopefully I get your name correctly. OneDrive, it depends how they use it, whether they are linking as a local drive or they are linking as a OneDrive. How to tell on your formula whether you will see something called HTTPS something. If yes, that means they are linking to the OneDrive directly. So that means the person, you need to share the OneDrive permission to whoever need to access the data or update the data, and so that they're able to refresh the formula. So this is what OneDrive. Sometimes the OneDrive is only used as a backup place. So all the formulas still go to C or go to some other location D. So that means it's still in your local computer. So hopefully I address the question. So local computer, the sharing is a bit different. Okay, OneDrive is much more easier. You could share to the particular person ID and the person can view it. Can Kelvin?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, Michelle, you want to share your screen, is it? Okay, I need to see what is the problem. So you know how to share? Nurul, I'll come back to you in a while. Michelle, are you there? Okay. Can I see the formula? So you call it as customer table. Okay, can you move to the left a bit? Because you are pointing to B49. B49. 3yup.xls. Okay. You don't use true, you change it to false and see. I think it's because of the true just now, they couldn't find. Chen Hui Ling also can find it. It should be false. Very good. So we have an assistant. Thanks for helping each other. So Nurul, you want to know more about that one, just a bit. I'm going to get you guys to go for your break now for about 10 minutes. So Nurul, we talk about the HLOOKUP that you were missing just now, right? So let me just close this file. Is this the file? Wait, no, right? It's not this file. It's the other file. Wait, let me save this one first. Nurul, are you there? Just give me a heads up. Okay, good. So when you want to write the HLOOKUP, right? First thing I did just now was I highlight the table. I call it a H table lah. Okay. Ini saya namakan dia sajalah. So right now we're going to use HLOOKUP. Now the reason why we are using HLOOKUP because the table, when we are looking for 133,000, we are not looking downwards, but we are looking to the right. When we are actually searching from left to right, that's horizontal. That's why we use HLOOKUP. And then we, based on this 133,000, we go inside the H table. The H table is this one, okay, comma. So now they're asking you for row index number. Apa yang kita nak cari? We need to find the discount. So the discount is row number 1, 2, number 2. So I put 2. Then in this case, there is no exact 133,000 in the list. You see that? There's no 133,000 inside the list. So you are actually looking for in between 100 to 150. In that case, you have to use something called false. True. You have to use true. True or 1. So, Boleh faham? Then just copy down. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's take a break, everyone. You have 10 minutes. Come back by 10:40 like that. Then we go into something deeper after this. Okay.
Okay, good job. Thank you, Kevin, everyone. Okay, good. And I received some question. Okay.
Okay, thank you and welcome back. I hope you have a good rest. And thanks, Ty, for giving everybody a refresh their memory a little bit what they have learned. Now, we're going to use file number 4 this time. Then the file number 4 says break the rules. Break the rules. Now, if we recap what we learned just now, we say that VLOOKUP only match the first column. And if you just write a normal VLOOKUP, what happened when the data given to you is not even VLOOKUP ready? The table, you see? Now I need to find the description. It's the same exercise that we did just now, but this time the table is not according to the correct order. Now, many times when we have a table like this, we are not able to simply move the column. Now, if the table that you have, okay lah, we move the column, no problem, no issue, then fine. But most of the time, the table that you use, the column order is already in place. You do not want to mess it up. If you mess it up, it's only for this VLOOKUP. What about another VLOOKUP that may not use the same value, right? They may not use the same columns that you're trying to match. So we leave them alone. We are not going to do anything about it. We're not going to do anything about it, except that we're going to name them. We're going to name them. So in this case, we don't touch this particular thing here. So what we do is, we're going to use VLOOKUP. We know that this table array is a problem. The table array is the problem because the first column is not the product ID. We are using product ID, but the product ID is in the third column, right? So we need some help. VLOOKUP alone now temporary is paralyzed, cannot use. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples to do this. All right, so but before we begin, I'm going to do this. I'm going to check in here. Do I have any name inside my name box? No, there's no name. Then I'm going to name them now. I'm going to highlight the whole table, but I'm not going to highlight the whole table and give this whole table a name. I want to name each column using the title in the first row. So if you still remember, yes, just now we did by row. This time we're going to go by column. So I go to this formula ribbon, create from selection. I hope you still remember this button. So I highlight the whole table. This time I'm saying use the name in the first row. So I click this create from a selection. I only want the top row. I don't want the left column. Top row only. So I say, let's create the name for each of these columns. I have 4 columns here. So top row, the first one is going to be called category, unit price, product ID, and description. So I just click OK. So now I go to my name box. You notice I have 4. So if I click category, it will show me the category, description. Then I go to this product ID. Then I go into the unit price. Okay. Now let's refresh our memory a bit. How does this VLOOKUP actually works? This VLOOKUP, every time when we apply the VLOOKUP, we are only working around 2 columns. One column is to perform the match. The other column is the information that we want to look for. So basically, only 2 columns are involved. 2 columns are involved, not 4. Not 4. So this is what I'm going to write. So let's pay attention to this. We already know the name. So over here. So equals to VLOOKUP. Okay. I'm still going to use this SUPA 101 C9, comma. Now, I cannot directly just name it as C table or P table or whatever that I used just now. This time, I need some help. So this help comes from a function called choose. Choose. Okay, choose. I told you just now, we need 2 columns. So I need you to put an array bracket, 1, 2, close the array bracket. Now, we are going a little bit in-depth already. Just now, the first round until 10:30 just now was all the basics. Now, we're going to go beyond the basic. So we tell them, remember I told you we only need 2 columns. So the first column and the second column. So 1 represent the first column, 2 represent the second column. So why I need the array bracket is because I have more than 1 value. If I only need 1 value, I don't need the array bracket. Okay, so that's the reason why I put a bracket, because there are 2 values, 1 and 2. So 1 actually represent value 1. What should be our first column? The product ID. The first column should be product ID. The second column should be our description. Okay, so if you study this formula now, okay, you study this formula, the first number 1 here is represent this guy, product ID. This one represent description. So we have column 1, we have column 2, column 1 and column 2. Okay, just now, if we look at the original data, the first column is not product ID, but we are using the choose function to help us rearrange the column without actually moving the real column. We are just virtually rearranging the columns, right? So I close bracket, comma. Now, which column index number? Basically, we only have 2. So it has to be the number 2, comma, then 0. 0 as in the false. So when I do that, I can still get my answer. So let me just put the formula text up here. So this is the formula text. Maybe I'll use the blue, no, maybe I use the blue color, right? Blue color. So this time, if you study the VLOOKUP, the table array is no longer just a highlight of your table. It is actually a choose function. Okay, you see, it's actually the choose function. The table array is actually the choose function. The choose function helps you to rearrange the column. Now, if I don't name the column just now, then I have to remember it as I9 to I20. Then the description will be J9 to J20. I need to remember those references. But because I give them a name, it will be a lot easier for me to understand which one is my first column, which is my second column. I'm using the name. Because we humans have very, very short memory, right? We have a memory of a goldfish. So therefore, if I ask you I9 to I20 is where, then you cannot remember it, or product ID. Now, it's a bit hard, but it's the same thing, right? But if I name them, it will be so easy. I don't even need to remember where are they. I just know that, oh, you're referring to product ID and the description. The curly bracket is just typed next to your alphabet P. If you look, the curly bracket is just next to your alphabet P. Okay. Now, if you look carefully in this formula, this table, how many columns are there? There's only 1 and 2. So you didn't define the 3 and the 4. Therefore, this one is always 2. It's always the outcome that you're looking for. No, not range lookup is 2. It's column index number is 2. Muhammad UYD. It's not the range lookup, it's 2. Okay. Okay, this one is this, right? This whole table is this table array, right? Then this guy is, then this one is here. So everybody start to panic. Why like that? Why like that, right? Now, not every day Sunday, your data are so clean must always be the first column. Where got every day so lucky? So when times like this happen, you may need to have an additional way of getting your work done without affecting the table too much. If every day so nice, we are treated so nice that the table is so good, then good, your life is very peaceful. Is that if you want to put three, if you want to put three, you have to put 1, 2, 3. Then you have to define your third value already. But tell yourself, for what? If I put in here, unit price, unit price, okay, unit price, will you use it or not? Because this is description. So it's always one column to match, another column to produce the answer. You will not produce two answers. So if you want to write for unit price, then you put product ID and unit price. No need to do it here. Why you want to make the formula so long? Okay. So I still put 1 and 2. I take away the unit price. Okay, so I want for the unit price. So I go to the formula bar, copy the whole thing, come down here. I just paste it and I change this description to unit price. So I get my unit price. Okay, so let me just write the formula up here. So will you be able to identify the difference from here? So one is product ID description, one is product ID unit price. So everything else is the same. It's just that you change the second value only, is that? Yes, you're right. So column 1, column 2. So it's always 2. The 2 is always your outcome. The 2 is not the exact match. The 0 is the exact match. If what I look for at 2 exact match. VLOOKUP so far only allow you to produce one answer. One column will only produce one answer. One column only one formula will always produce only one answer. So seldom we'll see that one column itself you can have two answers. So if you want one column to produce two answers, then you have to concatenate the answer already, which is a bit complicated already. Usually one column only got one answer. You want description, only one description. You want unit price, then only unit price. Okay, now let's forget about this for a while. I want you to come down here. This time, I want you to do the first one for me. We look up and choose. Then after this, I will show you how to use index and match. And then we look up. XLOOKUP. Okay, so I need you to go to the data table and name them. So each and every column here, I want you to give them a name. So we have origin, we have customer, gender, contacts, customer ID, and email. So still remember how to do that? Go to formula, create from selection, top row. Make sure it's only top row lah. So you remember the name, origin lah, customer, gender lah, contact and so on. So let's click OK. So let's go back. So now I need you to find a VLOOKUP, choose here. Equals to VLOOKUP. Based on this ATKA, comma, then you use what? Okay, let me just zoom in closer so that you can see clearer. So I put here equals to VLOOKUP based on this ATKA 382, comma, choose. So curly bracket, the curly array bracket, 1, 2, comma. So the first one should be customer ID, right? Customer ID, comma. Then the second one should be the customer. Close bracket, comma 2, comma 0. Is it the same and on top? Just that different database only. So I know that ATKA is Adina Gates. I just copy that. Okay, if you are done, just put in the chat done. Then I know you have completed this part. Very good, Cecilia. Okay, good. A lot of done, huh? All right, now, what's next? I need you to find the gender. So what am I going to do now is I'm going to use another function to write. And this is called the index and match. So let me just put not equal, it's supposed to be plus. Index plus match. Okay, so I'm going to do this index. Now, the purpose of the index is actually to tell me what am I looking for? Oh, I'm actually looking for the gender. I'm looking for the information called the gender. Okay, comma. Then, how can I know ATKA 382 is in which number? So I'll tell them match, right? Match this ATKA with customer ID and find the exact match. 0 for exact match. Then I close 2 brackets. 1 bracket for the match and the other one for the index. So this formula is a little bit shorter than that. There you go. I get my failure. Okay, let me just put it up here. Formula text of itself. I use purple and gold. Okay, let me put this in the center. This is the formula. So first thing you must mention is what exactly are you looking for? I'm looking for the gender. I'm looking for the gender. So ADGA. So let's go to the data. ADGA. Where is ADGA? Here. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So gender 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a female. So they found the female for you. So if I highlight this formula, you see, if I highlight this formula, this is one, they give me the number 6 on top. If I want to know what is the match, I can press F9. Then you see 6. So you say, go to the gender column, take out the value number 6. That's what happened just now. Okay, I counted it manually for you, right? 6 ma. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they found Adina Gates female. So the match function basically asks me where is ADGA3, 8, 2. So I count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means I need to go to gender, take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then they found the female. That's exactly what this function is all about. So this combination is a very powerful combination. Index alone is useless. Match alone is also useless. But if you marry them together, they are a perfect couple. Okay? Questions? Anyone? Exactly. They are the same family, same umbrella. They are actually used to do the looking for information. So if you exhausted your option with VLOOKUP, you cannot do it, you can try index and match. The 0 means exact match. The 0, if you go back to the formula here, okay, they have 1 for less than, 0 for exact match, -1 for greater than. Compared to the one that we have in VLOOKUP, we only have less than. We don't have the greater than. This is so happen when you are actually using true, but your data is arranged in a different order. So you want them to, instead of look down, instead of look upward, look downward, -1. But usually, like I said, most of you, the person who teach you VLOOKUP also will only teach you 0. They don't even talk about a 1. Here, the index is usually 1 as well. Sorry, 0. We always use 0 for the exact match. Okay? 0 is always to indicate the exact match. Here, they don't play with true or false. They only play with 1, 0, or -1. Right, there are people in the waiting room. Just keep an eye on that. Okay, so are we okay with the index and match? Now I give you an option. Besides VLOOKUP, you also have index and match. Now, the next option will be XLOOKUP. Now, this is only for those of you who are able to use it. That means you have to be 365 or 2021. Right? Not too sure whether the version 2019 is updated with the XLOOKUP, but you can give it a try. So how it works is XLOOKUP is even shorter. The formula is so much shorter. It's very much like index and match. So I put there XLOOKUP. So the lookup value is this guy, still the same, B31. So they ask you, hey, you want to look for this B31 in where? In the customer ID. What are you going to take out? Oh, I want to take out the origin. So ORIG, origin. That's it. When I press enter, I'll get the answer already. The formula is straightforward compared to the rest of the formula. Okay. It's very, very straightforward. But like I said, it's only available to those with 365. So the formula is, what are you using to match? Where do you want to match? And what do you want to take up? So 1, 2, 3. That's it. No need to worry about the rest. Yes, it's a lot easier. However, you need Office 365. For those of you who are using the older version of Microsoft Office, you may not be encountering this XLOOKUP. Now, another sad news about this XLOOKUP is, if you are the only one in your organization having 365, but the rest of the colleague, they are still using the older version. You will be very lonely because you will only look at this formula, you will shock sendiri, but the rest of the world cannot see your answer. Okay, so if you send this particular file XLOOKUP to those using older version, what they see is just error. Okay, sometimes it's good to be at the top, but they are very lonely lah. That's why we still have VLOOKUP or index and match. Index and match is older than VLOOKUP, by the way. But they are not being popularized because a lot of people think it's a bit harder, but I feel that it's a lot easier compared to VLOOKUP. And VLOOKUP has too many restrictions. Index and match is not. But somehow VLOOKUP still gained the popularity, even though it has a lot of limitation. So Microsoft had come up with XLOOKUP, which is a lot easier. Because a lot of companies are not ready to move to 365, because it's an annual subscription, they have to pay annually. If they buy Office 2021 or 2019, they only pay once and they can use for many years until they decided to upgrade again. But XLOOKUP, no. XLOOKUP is every year, not XLOOKUP. Like Office 365, you have to pay every year. The subscription, you have to pay on a yearly basis. So many companies are not ready for that yet, but when they are, then they can enjoy all the new functions. Now you can try, you can register it for the free. I'm not too sure how long, but they have limitation now. But nevertheless, you can try lah. Yeah, 365 definitely has. Is that Microsoft 365 memang ada, but kalau kita guna 2016, I don't think there is. I can't remember 2019. I think 2019 also has. Is it true, Atai? In 2019, do they have XLOOKUP? I don't have 2019 in my computer, so I don't think so. Yeah. I think 2021, yes. 2021 version has. Okay, so Miss Chin Mei Lee has confirmed. No, 2019 don't have. So like I said, if I'm the only one with 365 and all my students are 2019, I'll be like, yeah, myself, but the rest of the world look at it as error. Yeah, 2021 onwards they have. If I'm not mistaken, 2021 onwards they already have it. Yeah. Okay. So no problem, this one. All right, now, what if I have this information here? I want to find the customer ID and the amount. See, AMCA 271, the amount, not directly in one worksheet, but I got 3 worksheets here. And I'm looking for March. I'm looking for March, which means it's not so straightforward anymore, right? It's not so straightforward anymore. Then you see, this is the customer ID and the amount. Okay, so this is for January. This is for February, and this is for March. So what I'm going to do now is I don't have the month January, February, March. So I need you to highlight this. Highlight this. Let's name this as January. January, January. Let's name this whole table as January. Then let's go to the second one. Let's name the whole table as February. And the last one here, March. The last one here, highlight this. Let's call it March. Note something. I name the month full. I name the month full. February. This January, I also name it as January, full. So when I want to work on this, I must type here full, January. I cannot use MAR. If I name the table MAR, then that's different, right? So how can I use the if function here in my VLOOKUP? So equals to, right? So I have to tell them this, right? So which table I should go? It should be January, right? It should be January. So how do I do that? Then if I put here if lah, if I put if, so I put here if this cell is equals to January, then what? January. Can I ask them to go to January? Otherwise, then I have to if again, right? If again, if it's February, then I go to February, right? So I put another if. My B3 is equals to February, then I use February. Otherwise, March. Let's see whether it works, huh? Comma. And I need to look for the column number 4. And this time, exact match. So why am I not getting the answer? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And 4. Okay. Where am I? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh? Can I write my formula like this? Put the if inside here. So let's see. Here, if it is equals to January, then the value should be January. Otherwise, we do the next if. If B3 is equals to February, then February. Otherwise, March. Okay, so this thing is for the entire, no, wait, here, February. 4 is column number 1, because I actually want them to use January table and then the March, right? Now, this is a very long formula and you will have complication. Complication. So if I don't want to write like this, yeah, okay, sorry. If you see the amount range, I forgot to tell you, I'm actually using something called random between. So it doesn't matter, the number, I just leave it as random between. So the formula here, if you put a if logic in front like this February or whatever, they don't know what you are talking about. Okay, so maybe I should write my formula starting from if equals to if B3 is equals to January, then we look up based on B8, January, 4, 0. Now, looks like I need to write a few times of this, a few times of this. So I made a copy of this one first. Comma. Then if my B3 is equals to February, then I paste it here. but I change this one to February. Okay. Otherwise, this one will be March. So I close the bracket. So I get that number. So if I change this to MARCH, number will change accordingly. Okay, why 4? 4 is because 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking for the amount. It's like 4. Okay, let me put the formula up here. Now, if you don't get this formula, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it if you don't get this formula. It's fine. Don't bother about this. Okay. What I actually wanted to talk about is this one. Now, a lot of people are using this kind of formula. It's like, wow, so long, right? The formula is super long. I don't want to write something so complicated. So I want to introduce a function called VLOOKUP with indirect. VLOOKUP with indirect. So I put here equals to still VLOOKUP. This AMCA 271, comma. Now the table, I want them to use the name called March. So I put there indirect. Whatever that I type here, okay, comma, 4, comma, 0. I can get the answer I want. So I would want you to, okay, I forgot to lock this one. I want you to use the indirect instead. So what does indirect do is, you type here March, then you want them to look for March. Okay, so equals to formula X of this cell. This is what I want you to write. You'll be a bit smarter when you write this. That means when I change this one to January, sorry, wrong spelling. Okay, answer is the same. They are referring to B3. B3 January, so they will go to January. Okay, so if I click here, if I did this indirect B3, right? I press F9, they tell me this is the answer. Right? I'm not looking for that. This one is telling you that you are in the customer ID for March. Sorry, January. This is January. So if I put here February, so it will be February. A different function altogether. So don't use the conventional function where you say if this one is this one and this one. Imagine you got 12 months. Wow, can you imagine how long the formula is going to be? Right? Using if is a method of the past already. Don't use that. Use indirect. Use indirect based on the name. So since we have named this thing as January, so now they know, oh, you want to go to January. So this one is February, so they know that this is called the February. So they come to the February, they look inside the customer ID, they find the amount. What do you think? The formula is here, up here. Oh, the if formula. So let me put the if formula. It's a bit long. Let me put it right at the end here. You can see the whole thing. Yeah, cannot see it. Okay. This one is for this guy. Very long, the formula. Okay, when we rename the table, yeah, the amount change, yes. Because I use the function called random. See, Sian? You're right, it works. That's why I wrote the formula just now. But now I write another round. But you imagine the formula has all the way to 12 months, December. Assuming it's not even month, it's your branch. If you are like KK Mart got 100 over branch, you will go crazy. Right? Maybe 200, 300 over branches, you go crazy writing the formula. So the indirect is your way to go. You just type which branch, then the calculation is there. Yeah, the indirect is very good. Copy the formula in the chat. Okay, can. He said you also copy your formula in the chat, because some of them want your formula. Mm. Yeah, I will definitely share the files. Once it's done, I will share to all of you. All the 5 files, I will share to all of you. See, Zhixian already shared the formula, so you guys can use that as well. So I use it for my second formula. I like this guy. So this one, I put the formula down here. This one is the formula from Zhixian. Thank you, Zhixian, for your kindness to share with everybody. Okay, done. Now let's do a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more on the indirect function. Let's go back to the first one. Let's go back to the first one over here. Now, what I'm going to do now is, if I change this name here, customer, I change it to gender. I hope that this information will change to gender. But so far, it will not. Simply because it's hard-coded to customer. So if I want them to follow my title on top, I can use this indirect. Whatever on top here, this guy, but I have to lock it, when I close bracket. So when I press enter, you notice the female appear. So I put in the center. So if I change this one to origin, then it will change to origin. Now you look at the formula, I put an indirect for my second value, the second value. I can do the same here. Okay, for this one, gender, I will change this one to indirect, whatever that is on top here. Lock it and close bracket. So you just copy this thing down. So this time, I change this one to customer, then I'll get the customer name. So I'll do the same for this guy. So for the origin, I'll change it to indirect. Okay, whatever that is on top. F4 and lock it. There we go. Which means now if I put here gender, they will look for the gender. Now, when your boss give you this work, I say, hey, sorry, can you put the gender in front, then follow? No, can you put the customer first, then origin, then followed by gender? Can. You just tell them, okay, customer. Then you want origin. Just change the title and don't change the formula. If you want to get promotion, like Tai said, teach your boss how to change the title. Way to click lock again. F4 lah, the F4. Now don't worry about whether it's F4 or not. Just remember to put a dollar symbol. You give them the money, they won't run away already. So like I said just now, you just teach your friends, your bosses or your managers, tell them, you want to see gender first, then you type gender. Now, there's a problem. They might not know how to spell, right? So what you do is you highlight all this, go to data, then you go to this thing called data validation. Tell them to build a list. So where is this list? The source is from where? The source is from your data. You just highlight all this. Just highlight all this. Then, okay. Now, whenever you click here, they get choices already. Email. Then the email come out. You ask them to choose contact. They want the contact number. They want customer. Then they want the contact. And they want the email address. So now, you don't ask them to type. You ask them to choose what they want first. Okay, so that's the power of indirect that you can use for your work. Besides just the VLOOKUP, a very common VLOOKUP, everything also must change manually inside the formula. Now we don't change it inside the formula. We just change the title and we'll get what we want. Okay, now don't worry about this. I'm going to send the file to you guys. You can take a look at it, the formula. And plus, right, the bonus is this recording is recorded and you are going to get a recording. So you can always watch the recording and learn again. Okay, otherwise you can keep in touch with Tai or keep in touch with me in the WhatsApp group. You can ask the question there and we will try to reply to you. Yes, Mei Ling, you have a question? Okay, let me just put a done here. Yeah, I close the file. Did I miss any done for you guys this time? Okay, let me just go inside the chat. Okay, so we are down to our last exercise, which is also one of the very normal problem that we always face when we use VLOOKUP. So breaking the rules is fun, right? When you know how to break the rules, there are the potential is limitless in your VLOOKUP, right? So let's go to number 5. Now I have a little bit more time left only, so I need to move on. Now we can always keep in touch in the WhatsApp group. If you need anything to do, you want to do something from there, then you can let me know, right? Now this last exercise that we are having here is very common to all of us. The data given to us, you see that the customer name, they have lots of space in between and so on. But the one that we want to find is Jackson Lee. But here, Jackson Lee, where is Jackson Lee? Is there a Jackson Lee down here? Jackson Lee. You notice there's multiple space. So if I write a VLOOKUP now to find the account number equals to VLOOKUP based on Jackson Lee, comma, and I highlight this column. Remember, the first column must be the name. Then I locate comma. So I need to know the account number, right? So 1, 2, 3. So I put 3, comma 0. So when I press enter, I check, don't have got Jackson Lee Jackson Lee is here, where is Jackson Lee just now? Jackson Lee, why cannot find? This Excel so not so good. How? Okay. Then you realize that there are so many spaces. Now, what I'm going to do now is in this formula, this particular table is not right, It's supposed to be the column name here supposed to be not like this one, not like this one. So what I'm going to do is maybe I try first I try first. This one don't follow first you just watch first I will just put here trim. I tell them please trim and clean my data. Trim and clean my data. Wow, can already right? Can already right? So when I copy down, how come can already? Because I clean up all the spaces already. I clean up all the spaces already. Now, what happens if I go to this column? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, number 5. So instead of 3, I put 5. Right? I get a number. So there you go. But this is not a number. Remember this morning we talked about text and number. Why is this number on the left? When they're on the left, I try to format it to accounting. You see, cannot one. So not so good, right? So I go back to my formula. Then I say, okay lah, like that I change it to value lah. I change it to value. This whatever my answer, I change it to value. Wow, can already. Happy, right? Happy already now. Okay. Now what happened now if I put it back to 3? Right? Cannot pula. So it's not such a good solution, isn't it? The trim and clean for your table. Because your table contains text and number. If they are only all text, that is good. But since they are date and also number, then it's not so good. Okay, so this is not the formula that I want you to write. Because you don't trim and clean the whole table. Because the data is some are text, some are number. So we only focus on customer name. Now, how do we focus just one like that? So we use what we learned just now equals to VLOOKUP based on this Jackson Lee, comma, we use choose. So we have 2 columns, 1, 2. If you still remember this, now I'm using this function because I want everybody to be able to do it. Right? I'm not going to use something called XLOOKUP. Of course, to me, I would prefer XLOOKUP because this is for general use. Everybody must use it, and the topic is called VLOOKUP. So I'm doing this, comma. Now, can I do that now? So I use this at trim, clean, right? This column. Trim and clean this column. It's called the customer name, comma, and I need to know what I'm looking for. So in this case, it's the account number. Account number, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a comma, sorry, bracket, then comma, 2, comma, 0. Too many arguments. Yeah, that is what I suspected. Something is not right here. The trim and clean here must close the bracket first. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So if it's for amount, I just put amount. It's for text, I just put text. So that's the formula that I want you guys to add on to your existing formula. Okay. So we can actually tell them, please trim and clean. So if I write the formula here equals to trim this, right, and clean this particular cell, then it will look nice. It will take away whatever existing additional space that is you have in the cell. So they will clean up for you. Now, why trim? Trim is the space. Clean is whatever non-printable character that appear in your cell. Sometimes, especially when you are copying from the internet, you will have that kind of problem. So it's best to apply both lor. We sekali habis bersihkan dia lah, clean up the data before we use it lor. So please don't go into the cell here. Try to clean it up yourself. You want to take a look at how it looks like. So when I double click, like that one. Okay, now I have to come up here, edit the space, then I have to backspace, and get the backspace some more. Then at the back here, it still got one more. Then I have to backspace. Imagine how long do you take to just clean up one, right? Why not just use trim and clean? So equals to formula text and this one. Don't work so hard lah. Just make sure you clean up your data like this. Oh, zoom bigger. Which one you want to zoom bigger? Now, if you don't use the trim and clean, the VLOOKUP don't work, ma. So you have to trim and clean this customer name so that they can match. So then they can match. Okay. So just use the correct function to clean up your data. That will be great. Okay, so for those of you who have not joined the NTW YXL 2025 chat group, it's there, and hopefully you will join that and post your question there. So whenever you post a question in that group, right, when we answer you or we record down the answer in a video format or whatever, it benefits everyone, not just you alone. So try not to private chat, put it into the group so that we help each other to learn and grow and become better in using Excel. Right? So now, any question before I pass the floor back to Master Tai? I will save my file and give it to you guys. Don't worry. So I'll save this one. Okay, so just a quick recap of what we have gone through. So I hope this session, 3 hours that we spent together, will enhance your Excel skill a little bit. We are on just one topic called VLOOKUP, you know. Imagine if we learn everything. How powerful are we in using Excel, right? So this is an online session. I'm glad that all of you are following the exercises. So this is what we have covered. So I hope that all these things that we are I plan here help you in your work in the future. And yeah, so these are the things that we have learned. Master the data. You still remember text and number, then the references. So these are the first part that helped me with the VLOOKUP after that, right? If I don't go through this, it's going to be something complicated, right? So I introduce the syntax to you. I give you some practical example. I use back the same example over and over again so that you don't have to memorize anything. So here, the basic knowledge about it. How do you retrieve the data? Break the rules. This is the fun one. This is the fun part. And this is the most critical one that all of you should master. How you can make sure VLOOKUP still work for you. Otherwise, index and match. Otherwise, we XLOOKUP if you have the latest version. Okay. Then the last one is to trim and clean. Remember not to use the brush or any soap to clean your data. So don't take out your hard disk and clean. Make sure you use the trim and clean to do that. All right. So Mr. Tai, back to you.
Thank you, Calvin. Everyone, please type in the chat. Say thank you, Calvin. Yeah, please type in the chat. Thank you, Calvin. Yes, thank you, Calvin. I also learned one or two tips from you. Very, very insightful sharing from you. Very, very good. Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, good. And just for you, because we want to be thankful for the HLOOKUP to have this initiative, National Training Week. Without this initiative, we will not be here to share with all this generous knowledge with all of you. And also thank you, Calvin, again for his generosity so that we are able to learn from him. Nice, right? So we only have 3 hours and we are able to learn so much. Do you find it valuable? Yes or no to you? Yeah, let me know in the chat. Is it insightful? You learn something? Yes or no? Yes. And it's free, and furthermore, this is very, very power packed. And just have a quick memory for us. I would like to invite you to turn on your camera so that we could take a group photo. Yeah, now I want to invite you to turn on the camera. Some people say, I haven't makeup, it's okay. You will say your camera lens is not clean. That's all. It's okay, one. Okay. Yes. I want to temporarily turn off the chat for a while. Temporarily. Let's see. Yep. And no camera. Later on, you will use reaction though. If you are not used, you don't have camera, you could use reaction like heart, shape, all these things. Okay. Good. So we have more and more people, they are turning on the camera. We have 140 over people still surviving. So I saw one comment, can't remember the person name. Well, still survive, very good. The highest is about 156. I was just monitoring and keep on doing some things in the chat. Let's see. Okay, good. So we have more and more people turning on the camera. Oh, I can see some familiar faces and familiar names. Hi, Eileen. Yes. Okay, good. Hey.
Thank you guys for all the interaction. You guys are good. Yeah.
On my screen, I have 3 pages. So it will take a while for me to go to next page. And okay, no one's here. So look at your camera lens for a while. Look at your camera lens and smile. Okay, I'm on my first page. I'm going to the second page. Second page, a lot of people, they have yet to turn on the camera. If you are unable to turn on, you could use reaction. Reaction like the one, the heart shape, all these things. Yeah, all the reaction. Okay, so continue to do the reaction. Look at your camera lens. Smile. Yeah, chup, automatic. Again. Why people move? Okay, again. Okay, this first page and second page. Okay, good. Continue to do the reaction. And on the third page. Okay, good. Got it. Got the 3 pages. Okay, later on I will share the picture in the chat. So now I want to invite you to have a feedback on the session by completing this evaluation. And by the way, some people will ask, hey, Tai, I want to learn more. After the evaluation, if you want to learn more, how you're able to invest the time and some extra things for your personal growth, do stay back. I have a special offer for some of you if you stay back. So let's take about 5 minutes for this feedback. I will share the QR code on the screen as well. Once you have done, please type done in the chat. Kelvin, I'm very happy for this group. They ask a lot of good questions. Thank you. Thank you. I see Nufahika, Nufakila, triple done. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, good question from Izat. Kelvin, you want to address this one? Would like to check the content of the training just now. Is it considered advanced or still intermediate?
Okay, I actually answered the question up there. Now, this particular course is considered a mastery course on a specific topic. It's not an intermediate or advanced. So if you go for the intermediate or advanced, you will learn the VLOOKUP on the very general basis, because those are the ones that teach people some of the fundamental. We go very in depth just now on how do we mix and match. So if you only know VLOOKUP as of the basic, you will notice that there's a little bit of handicap there. So it's best for you to practice and ask questions. When here we are talking about how do we master the art of VLOOKUP. So basically, it's a bit of intermediate and a bit of advanced. So it's not entirely classified as intermediate or advanced. It's a mastery course.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin, for addressing that one. Okay, good. So I'm getting a lot of you has done this one. Okay, good. So now, for those of you, I really appreciate your time to invest to your personal growth. And now I want to share with you, this is something, if some people, they say, hey, it's only 3 hours. If you want to learn more, so these are the options available, yeah? So let me share with you. So that's one quote I always remind myself in. So this is the thing I want to share with you all. An investment in knowledge pay the best interest. So in short, some people will say, hey, inflation is going so high, where they want to put the money in. Maybe they just go for FD, 3+%. Some people, they go for other things. So they have a different ways of working. Investing in knowledge is the one in you that you carry, no matter where you go to. Just curious, how many of you agree with this statement? Please type yes. If you do not agree, please type yes as well. Okay. Yeah. Last time I saw there's one video. It's very interesting. This person is millionaire. This person shared a story of his real life. He said his boss asked him, talk to a bunch of the staff, if you want to learn about sales, please come in early because their start work is about 9. So please come in early at 6 so that I could share with you how to do the sales. And the person said, oh, that's very nice. Then the person, only one person go to the office at 6 o'clock. And none of them are in the office. And they're just curious, why the other people, they are not here? And the other colleagues say, my boss is not paying me for learning. Okay. And after years, this person learned how to do sales, how to do closing. And this person is the next millionaire. Yeah, it's a real story. Last time I have this one. If you want to have this short, let me know in the chat, in the group chat, I will share with you as well. So it's a real thing. This person share this one. So now I just want to, this one. So this is only 3 hours. It's free. So now I want to share with something extra. So who wants to learn more? If you want to learn more, please type me in the chat. Please type me if you want to learn more. Yes, thank you, thank you. I love all your energy. So there's one session is going to happen in 2 weeks' time. 17th of May is Saturday. It's from 9 to 5, and this is online. Yeah, it's online. It's one whole day. Calvin is the man is going to share with a lot of learning and a lot more interaction. Yes, thank you, thank you. And this one has a small fee. The usual fee for this kind of training is 1,500 per person. So some people will say, hey, I want to know what is a real learning. Let me walk you through what are the learning first. Yeah, what are learning? First, the fundamentals, what we have learned just now is you will recap again. Just in case you miss it, it will be recap. And then we have a short break. After short break, you will go through some error handling. For example, I'm looking for certain things, but the data is not there. How could we handle? And the lookup is only going towards right side. How could we go to the right side? Just left side. So Calvin has shown how to use the choose function. And there's some hands-on practice as well. And the next one is going to partial match. This is very, very powerful. Partially. Example, I want to find those with the specific wording in it. I just want to find the matching. Not the exact match, but partial match. Very interesting and not many people aware. So there's an index match we have gone through, and the price table is go much more in depth various techniques. And the next one is going to have multiple criteria. Now what we have learned is only one criteria, looking for the numbers, looking for the product ID, customer ID, that's all. What if I have multiple criteria? It's very interesting and not many people know how to use this one. Sometimes we go online, we might feel, I'm not sure how to apply in my work. This is the best place for you to learn from Calvin. And there's a lot of trim, clean, offset. It's much more narrow. And finally, there's a final practical challenge. Depending on your response, and Calvin may give you something differently. So you could see Calvin is very generous of sharing. Yes, okay, there's one question. Is HRDF claimable? So we'll address the question later. Is the cost way to practice? Yes, something like just now. We have the file, we have the video, everything is there for you to learn. And the best thing is, when you're learning online, you could ask questions. By asking questions relevant to you, you remember the best. So this is the things we are going to learn for one whole day. And The fee is 1,500. Just curious, how many of you say 1,500 is a bit on the higher end? Type yes if you say this is a bit higher. Type no if you say it's still okay. Let me know. Is 1,500 a bit high or it's a bit low? Let me know, yes or no. Thank you. Okay, how about the rest? Yeah, 1,500. Some people will say yes. Some people, if okay, got discount, yes. Luckily, you asked to say discount. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. For me, I also asked discount. Any discount? Any discount? Yeah, too high for me. Okay. So this is an investment. Whenever you have this one, you will be much more committed. Can get a good rate. Can. Calvin can give a good rate. Can. Okay, Calvin say yes. Okay, so now want to give the rate like this one. Okay, like this. Okay, half of the price. Okay, half of the price. Is it better now? I imagine you have the video, you have a Q&A plus the group. You can ask a lot more questions. Something very nice, right? Nice, right? Okay. How many of you still say this one is still a bit higher end? How many of you say this one is a bit higher end? Still can get a good rate. Funny. Okay. A bit higher, huh? Okay. It's better than just now. Half of the price leh. Yeah, long. Okay, let's see. Calvin can get a bit lower. Wow, Calvin says slice. Okay, let's slice. Let's slice. Wow, by this one. Better. Hey, almost 1/3 leh. 1/3 of the original fee leh. Can slice some more, Calvin. Calvin is the boss of today. Calvin is the don't know. How many of you say you want to have more? You want to have more discount? Just curious. Okay, again. Okay, good. Let's slice one more. See, no more space. The slide, you see, no more space. That's the end. Is it better now? 421.87. Yeah, it's better now. Yes, better. How many of you say this is much more affordable compared to 2005? Yes or no? It's much more affordable. Yeah, because you had the trainer. Then go back, I scroll back. Pretend you don't see this one. Pretend you don't see that. Cannot. I really say this one. Because all of you really committed, I really salute all your learning. So this is only for one time. Only one time. After this, no more. This is the final things. Yes, there's a certificate of completion. There will be getting a certificate. So this is the final fee. 399. How many of you want this one? 399. Yes, thank you. Okay. OMG, yes, it's a big price slice. Because of NTW, we want to recognize all your effort, your participation, your dedication, and the commitment to improve yourself. So this is a special fee, and is only up to midnight tomorrow. After this, no more offer. Let me share the link, the payment link in the chat, and also share it on the QR code here as well. Yeah. In between, if you have any question, feel free to ask now. So this is a super huge deal. You could use your own fee. Some people say, hey, I just paid the whole thing. Yes, you could pay. Just take the things like, some people say it is high. Imagine you're investing this to you. Just divide by 365. One day is about 1 ringgit plus. Just by 1 ringgit plus per day, what could you do in a day? Not much. By learning this one, you are going to change your life to a better one. Really, I've seen a lot, I've witnessed a lot. Because they improve the Excel skill, they perform better, and they get better recognition from their company, then they progress a bit faster. So it's a real, very worthwhile investment. Can share the topic again. Okay, online session. Yes, it's online session. It's only online, everything's online, so that you could do the learning while you're sleeping. No, cannot sleep while you're at the comfort of your home and while you can still eat something while you're learning. It's very, very nice. Very nice for this one. Okay, some of you asked about the topic. Let me share the topic in the chat. Let me copy and paste that. Automatic. Okay. Yeah, this is the topic. Let me copy and paste in the chat. Okay, I'm copying. Yeah, this is the topic I've just shared in the chat. This one is, we want to keep the things simple. So there's if that normal HRDF rate is this one, because there's a lot of admin work, a lot of some other paperwork required. So this one is just a pure net fee. It's only for today. Only for today. Yeah, okay. Can share the topic? Yes, I have shared in the chat. Let me scroll back. Let's see other questions. Okay, good. So if you have settled the fee, this one you could pay either, you can settle the fee either using online transfer, everything is inside, or you could use your credit card, also can. Have to leave, okay, our battery, good job. Thank you, Jenny, for participating. Any other question that you have about this upcoming training? Okay, Kelvin, anything you want to share?
I'm good. I'm good. So I hope everybody will sign up, and I'll see you on the 17th. And rest assured, there will be a lot of sharing in the session. A lot of new things that I'm going to share with you, and very much in depth. Right. So let's come and learn together.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin, and thank you, everyone. I'll be here. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. I'll be just hiding behind the scene for a while. Okay, with that, I wish all of you have a great weekend and looking forward to see you on 17th May for the one whole day of Decode Lookup functions. Take care, everyone, and see you when I see you.
Bye-bye, everyone.